Well, hi, it's Julie from Cricut Leg Creative. Hope you're having a good day. I am going to show you today an explosion card. Now, this particular card you're seeing right now is just the finished card. The inside is going to be a little different. Here is what the inside, not of that card, but what an explosion card looks like. It's just a way of folding a square of paper. So that's what I'm going to show you right now. So basically you are starting, I'm doing an A2 card insert. So that's going to be an 8 1/4 or 8 3/8 square piece of paper, not cardstock. It's got to be regular paper. And we're going to fold first, going like making a plus sign on the paper. So what you want to make sure you do when you fold the paper is that you line up the corners, so that top and bottom corner as best you can, and that will help make the final product better. I'm using my folder here, the bone folder that came with my Score Buddy, to just get a nice crease. So then I'm going to turn the paper and then line out the fold lines and do another fold, so that once you have completed this fold and you open up the paper, you'll have a plus sign. You can see, you can probably hear my dogs right now. They're all scratching, making noise in here. Okay, so now we're going to do some other folds. So you're going to line up the far corners, and we're doing kind of a triangle here, and take your folder and do a nice crease. You don't have to use your folder. I always just use my fingernail, but I find that the bone folder really does give a nice sharp crease. And then you'll flip it like you did with the first set of folds we did. We're doing it on the diagonal this time, and line up that corner and fold, or crease and fold. So when you open that up, you will have made an X. So we've got a plus in the paper and then also an X in the paper, and those are the main folds. Now, this is the part where people tend to get a little freaked out. It's really easy, and once you've done it a bunch, you'll understand it. You're going to bring those sides in, and we're flattening out what we've made. You're going to want to try to get that middle where all those folds intersect. Get the middle lined up right, and you'll just have like a triangle on top of a triangle. That's what it looks like. You're just kind of bringing the sides in and making a triangle. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do is you've got two flaps on each side. You're going to bring one flap up to the center, to that center where all the folds met, and then make sure it's nice and flat. Fold it, crease it there. Do the same thing on the other side. It's just meeting up at the top there. Put in a nice crease. And that's what you've got so far. You just got some flaps going up. Now flip the whole thing over and do the exact same thing again. You can make this for like just about any size card. You just want to make sure that your dimension, your square is going to be slightly smaller than the card, and I'll show you that towards the end. This is just one I'm doing to show you how to fold. I'll show you how to do my actual card after this. Okay, so that's what it looks like up to this point. Now you can poke in the folder or your finger. You're going to open up that little flap and take the point and bring it down to the bottom. Essentially, what looks like a little square there, and then you'll take that flippy flop thing there and just flip it down to the bottom. Super technical term, flippy flop. Do the same thing on the right side. Open it up, flatten it out, put some good creases in, and then bring the flap down. So to me, it looks like a house. It looks kind of like a basic house shape. Okay. Flip the whole thing over and repeat what you just did. Opening up, flattening, creasing, and bringing the flap down. And the same on the one beside it. And this is what you make. It's really easy, and once you've done it a few times, you pretty much will never forget it. And that's it. That's all the folds that you make. Now, whether or not you decorate this paper before you put it in your card depends on what you're doing. So for mine, I had a card ready to go for a friend of mine. Decorated the outside of it. It's a A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have already decorated a square of paper. I've stamped around the edge and done some ink blending and wrote a little message inside. So here's where if you line up this square, you can see there's a little bit of space at the top and bottom. So this square I'm working with is 8 3/8 square. I've also done 8 1/4. Either way is fine. So I've sped this up slightly because I'm just repeating the same steps again, doing the plus fold and then the X fold as well. I've done this before with kids and youth, and it's a lot of fun to learn a technique like this because it really only requires paper and folding ability. So it's a fun activity to do with kids. In fact, I'll show you a card that my son made for his cousin while I was working on this one. Now you can see there that fold did not quite go straight. That does not bother me. If it bothers you, you can certainly change it, start over or refold, but it really, likely will not notice that at all because there's so much going on with the movement of the paper. So here's the part where we make the flat triangle. Remember to go into that center where the fold lines intersect, and just make sure that it's nice and as pointy as you can get it. Folding up. This is not the kind of card that would do well with a lot of stickers necessarily. Inside on this, it's mostly something that you'd want to write, draw, stamp, stuff like that. The many folds inside are going to make it difficult for any embellishments you put in there to do very well, except on the parts that get taped to the inside of the card, which I'll show you in a minute. Flattening out the little square and then the flap down. Once you learn this, like I said, you will probably always remember it. I learned this probably 20 years ago, and I've never forgotten it, even when I haven't done the technique for 10 years. So now I'm going to put down some double stick tape. You could use glue, you can use tape runner, whatever adhesive you like. You're just only going to put it on that house shape, for lack of a better word, on one side and then on the other. That's the only place you're going to put glue, because everything else is going to be moving. I like the tape I use is Lawn Fawn. I really like that tape. In fact, it's time for me to order some more because I've been using it so much. I also like the Gina K tape runners, but I'm completely out of that right now. Okay, so what I do a couple of times is make sure I'm going in the right direction. I can't tell you how many times I have put an insert in and realized I put it in upside down. So I'm just going to take the tape backer paper off of one side, make sure again that it's going the right way, center it in the middle of the card there, making sure not to go too far up because I want it to be able to fold without the insert getting in the way, and then just press it down over top. Flip it over, take off the backer paper, and then you can put the back flap down, and it's done. Really easy to do. As you can see, there's only going to be two places at the top and bottom where there's any space for where something's not going to get very folded. You can certainly play around with that and see what you'd like to do, but mostly I like to just do stamping and inking, stuff like that. So I'm going to show you now a card that my son was, this is what he put on the outside of that card I showed you earlier. Some Christmas stickers because it's getting close to Christmas. And he just wrote a message to his cousin on the inside. So that is the explosion card. I'd love to hear from you if you have done this before and if you've done any variations on that. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see all my other videos. Hope you have a great day. Y'all take care.